Hello, everybody. Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I've got Jake, and we're going to be talking about his new book, which isn't quite out yet. I've ordered a
But you can
copy.
still pre-order. You can still pre-order.
I've got it. I've got it on pre-order. As soon as I knew it was out, I went and pre-ordered a copy.
Thank you.
But you can go and pre-order it. Jake, where can we find you?
Yeah, definitely. Just if you type in, I think actually if you just Google Jake Dunlap, innovative seller, and let me hear, I'll go ahead. I'll drop a link in the LinkedIn Live too. So I'm
Okay.
going to make this very easy. The other thing that's actually really important about today, Tim, is our kind of initial group. That if you sign up now, it actually officially goes live on Monday. We also developed an innovative seller community, and it's pretty awesome. It's not another kind of like noisy Slack channel you need to join, but it really kind of encapsulates a lot of like forward thinking sales conversations. Because what I found is like there's no real place to go and like have, you can like piece together some LinkedIn posts or there's Slack channels, but like we're really trying to aggregate like, hey, what are the best of the best companies doing that everyone can kind of share. So when you buy a copy of the book, you get free access to the community, which actually, if you sign up now, will be live and then live to everyone else on Monday. So
So you've got
exciting.
the book that you've got coming out is called The Innovative Seller.
Yes.
And I can order a copy off your website, can't I? Or I could go to Amazon and buy a copy.
That's correct. Yeah. If you just go to Amazon, innovative seller, but then just shoot me a DM on LinkedIn too, if you, so then I can make sure you get added to all the other like fun, cool stuff that is a
Okay.
part of this. So you don't
Okay.
want to miss out on that stuff.
So in the book, you talk about the 4 C's, which are commitment to artificial intelligence technology, current go-to-market strategy, customized sales journey, and consistent performance optimization.
Yep.
So this is about bringing your book is about bringing all of the new stuff about sales and bringing it into one piece.
That is the goal. Yeah, the goal is, I mean, at a high level, and I think we've seen this is if you look at over the last 10 years versus 10 years before that, right? Look at, 2005 to 2015 compared to, let's say, 2015 to 2024. Um, the the leaps forward in how we buy things as a consumer, between 2005 to 2015, you were buying a lot of things online in 2015, but probably not as much as you think you were. Right? And now it's like, wait, you're going to a store? What do you mean your groceries aren't getting delivered? We have been trained and are continuing being trained for customized experiences, things that feel customized to us and things that are targeted to us, and speed. That we can learn about things asynchronously. We can go and look at a product or whatever, and then when we're ready, we buy, right? And home buying is a perfect example of this. The stat from I think Realtor.com here in the States was like 100%, I think, or something like that, of people did research or found their own home online before contacting a realtor, right? And if we're doing that for purchases of $1 million or whatever, $400,000, whatever, people are looking to do that too. McKinsey has some really startling statistics. Like people are ready to start self-servicing at $50,000 to $100,000 on B2B. And we now have to have a framework that meets buyers where they are in their journey. Some are still cold, right? And they need the education and the qualification. Others are like, look, I'm using your competitor. I already know your pricing. I need to be at step 3. And also the other big trend here is that nobody buys singularly anymore, right? Like if you think about Medic, and if you know my content, I have no real problem with Medic. Medic was developed in 1996. 1990, the internet was basically brand new. And guess what happened in 96? There was times when an SVP would be like, hey, yeah, we're going to spend 150,000. You frontline people, this is going to help you use it. Nobody buys like that. There is no one decision maker. There is no one champion. There are teams, there are end user teams, and they're going to move at their own pace throughout a deal. And there are ROI and impact teams, the people that care about those things. And any one of those people can say no or yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's also this idea that you don't move a company through a sales process. You move these teams, and they're usually at different places. We've got to kind of orientate them toward the end. And so that was really the reason for the book, is like, it's just very obvious that there's these new trends and things that are happening in terms of how people want to buy. And when you talk to B2B buyers, they'll tell you what I'm telling you. And that we need a change. We needed a tactical roadmap for what is the next evolution. And my hope is that the book is a a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, Tim Lewis says, I think people are much more prepared in terms of their knowledge going into buying situations. Sometimes they know more than the salespeople, and that's true.
A lot of the time.
So Tim, just so you know, so BMW is a client of ours, and they actually know that when someone walks through the showroom door, they will know more than the BMW salesperson.
100%. Yeah, exactly. And that's for a purchase. And again, of those, like look at one of the people that pre-order the car online. It's
Yeah.
like, I really don't even need the person. I've already done the thing. Like, and that is just where we're at. And you know, and I'll
80% of BMW 7 Series are bought without a test drive.
I will. Well, I actually drive a i4 M50, so I got the first electric sedan BMW, and it is phenomenal. But I did buy it without test driving it because it didn't exist. But what I'll call out is, you know, Tim, if you look at the first iteration of this, it was if you asked an enterprise sales team and even a mid-market team in 2019, or how about 2020 January, you said, will people buy $250,000, $1 million pieces of equipment or software 100% virtually? I'm 90% of enterprise sales leaders and reps would have laughed you out of the room. Well, welcome to 2024. And now people are doing it every day. And guess what happened in 2020? People started buying it. In 2021, they kept buying it. So, like, look, we have trained a whole generation of even people that are like less technology savvy and they're not millennials or whatever. Like, we have trained them how to buy digitally. And that's we're never going back. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a ton of value in face to face. I encourage people, my consultants, etc., visit clients face to face. But there are parts where people need to learn and want to learn asynchronously. And that's a big part of what we get at is how can I tactically implement some of this to where it's not like everybody has like a completely 100% customized, but the sales team is now really meeting customers where they're at and they're able to understand quickly where they're at. And that's also not this like linear spiced like framework that everybody goes through, or command of the message, pick your poison. Like sales is not a linear process because you have these teams that are at different stages. And saying that a company is here is it's just not accurate. And so we just have to evolve. It's just the next evolution with AI and these other things.
So your 4 C's, your first one, which is commitment to AI. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's a mix of technology and AI, which means sales leaders miss the boat. Sales leaders, when a lot of sales technologies were coming up, and like I'll start 2015, sales leaders started outsourcing that knowledge to sales operations, which was a mistake. And what that means is that the people that built really successful teams in the 2010s do not understand what is possible in terms of how to build a modern team. And so if we want to stay relevant, if you're watching this, if you are a 40, 45, 50, 55, 60-year-old sales leader, if you do not start investing right now in understanding what is possible, I don't need you to get certified in every technology, but you do need to understand what is possible. And it really is just how do you build a habit of staying on the forefront of what is possible. And that was really my goal, is to say, like, look, you don't have to now dedicate 80 hours a week to learning about new tech, but what are the things that I can do to make sure that I do stay proficient? And that's the word that I use very purposely. Like, you need to be proficient in these tools, or you're going to get, the only way you're going to know how to scale a sales team is by like better sales techniques and hiring more people. And my friends, that's not how teams are scaling right now. They're scaling with productivity improvements, effectiveness improvements, and not just throw more bodies at it.
I agree, Jake. I learned a lesson way back early in my career, back in the 90s. It would have been where all of the the people won't believe you when you tell you this, that you used to have a person that did all the typing for the sales team,
right?
And then what happened was that we got laptops and Word and stuff like that, and all of those people got fired. And that's the check. And we're coming up to that. We have to understand what AI can do for us.
That's right, and we can do a whole part 2 on just the use cases. And actually, what I would encourage everyone to do, I'll drop some links in here too, Tim. What we've done now, it just again as a part of this, is we've got a series of workshops, whether you're a rep or you're a leader, you can attend to help to get you proficient. Dedicate an hour and a half or 3 hours, just depending on the length of time you have. and start to invest in understanding what's possible. That's why we kind of developed some platform work and technology, and then realized, wow, the market needs just some education. I've also got a course on LinkedIn Learning about ChatGPT for sales. You can go check out. It's like 45 minutes long, but really about educating people on like, hey, what is possible, so they can not have to stumble through it for years.
So in your second point, which is about current go-to-market strategy, where are you in terms of your thinking on that?
Yeah, I mean, current go-to-market is just, the funny part is it's current, but it's also like, I mean, you could call it older school. Sales engagement platforms were never meant to hit send all. And what happened is we were back, Tim, when in the 2000s and early 2010s, every touch point we sent to someone in sales was inherently customized. And so we had this beautiful funnel that said, hey, activities. And when we do more of them, it's the same high quality activity because we're customizing, right? It will equal more meetings. And we learn this predictable revenue mindset. And guess what? It kind of worked. Like, okay, number of activities to meetings to opportunities, because all activities were the same, right? But come 2015, and really not till 2018, 2019, people realized, look, I can just hit some templates. So I can do more. And as email started to get more and more inundated, more activity stopped equaling more meetings, like in like a one-to-one correlation standpoint, right? Because the activity types were different. They're all different. We've got LinkedIn touch points, blah, 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 as opposed to like, it used to be every email, every call was to book a meeting. And so a lot of this is just actually, it's like, look, there's a reason that Tesla has humans on their production line. Tesla doesn't automate the whole, because the humans are there for quality assurance. And that is where the SDR or AE roles live today, is that, look, AI can get us there, and we can help to build great templates, but the human has to interject the right nuance. And so for teams to have that, we have to stop this mindset of automated equals scalable and focus on scalable efforts that generate results versus things we can automate that aren't generating results. And that's a really core component of this, is then how do I do that? Jake, how do I kind of just tweak what I'm doing by 10 or 15% to allow for the human to come back into the process and then actually start to see outbound results?
Because if we're automating everything, surely we can just automate it. We don't need the salespeople.
Well, I mean, everyone should look themselves in the mirror. Like, if your job right now is literally pushing send all on a bunch of templates, like, yeah, like, why, what do you need someone for? You know what I mean? Like, you don't really need, someone to do that. And especially like AI can get me some pretty dang good, like, value props. It's not good at writing actual emails. And we've tested all of them. I was messing around with Claude and their newest version today. But yeah, there's just a lot of, there's a lot of really cool things that can get us almost the way there. And that's cool. That's still scalable. That's still very scalable. The person just does this last part. They just do this. They just go check the doors and the windows and the da-da-da-da-da. And then they ship the Tesla, right? Like, there's a reason why almost all of these factory lines have people. And it's because that's what equals quality. That is the most effective way to do it, not the most efficient way. And that's this mindset shift that we've got to kind of understand, I guess.
So what about the customization of the sales journey then?
So that goes back to what I was talking about before, which is there's kind of three types of buyers that you're going to encounter today. There's vetted, and that's like they've done, and I've got kind of a list of them. It's like they're already using a competitor, they already understand pricing, and they're already like maybe demoed your competitor, right? They're down that funnel. Right. Then you've got educated, which means they've done some of that. Maybe they're using a competitor, but they're early in the journey. And then there's cold, right? Which is like, hey, I reached out to you. I didn't really know if I needed this. It seemed interesting. And then there's self-service, which is self-service. And that we encounter, every B2B organization is encountering all four of those same exact people and putting them all back at step zero. Like, I tell the story in the book about my experience with Salesforce a couple years ago, where it was the end of the year. I needed to spend some cash for the business, and I wanted to prepay my entire Salesforce license. It's like $45K, I think, upfront. And I didn't know who my rep was, obviously. I hit support up, took 3 days. The kid's like, can we hop on a call? I'm like, dude, I do not want to hop on a call. Where can I give you my credit card? Like, please tell me where. He's like, well, let's hop on. Like, dude, I'm not it's the end of the year. I need to get this done. Like, I'm not doing that. He's like, okay. Finally, he relents. And he sends me a PDF, Tim, and this is, again, I guess I already said it was Salesforce. So This is Salesforce. We had to enter our credit card on a PDF, take a picture, scan it, and send it back to them. I'm not fucking kidding. That's insane, right? Like, and guess what? The process isn't any different. Like, so you just have different buyers right now. And the whole point of customized journey is like, again, you don't need to have 5,000. It's like, how do I deal with these 4 people? And what happens when it's the end user team that comes first, or what happens when it's the decision-making team? Either way, we need to get both of these people through that process. And so customized sales journey is like, look, we need to map this customer experience and then just make some small tweaks to our process. I think for a lot of leaders, like we know it needs to happen. It sounds daunting. I promise you, it's not as daunting as you think. There's some things you can actually do pre-call, right? It's like, just send an email, Tim. You send an email and say, hey, looking forward to our call on Thursday. I talked to lots of VPs of operations. Tell me where you're at in this continuum. Oh, Jake, I'm here. Great. That means on this first call, I'm going to have our whatever team available. I'll have my customer success team on the call to talk about implementation. And so we'll be prepared. Oh, you're this? Great. Let's just understand a little bit more about your needs. And then I can kind of direct you on the right spot. Again, like we can't continue. Buyers are already revolting. Like if you talk to an executive at almost every company and ask them one question, what was it like the last time you bought something for your company?
Yep.
Almost universally, you're going to hear, ugh, it was horrible. My wife runs part of HR for a publicly traded company here in the States. And she's like, she's going through a process with a vendor now, and it's fun for me as sales consulting firm to hear about it. And she's like, I don't think we're going to buy it. And what I told her, I go, honey, if it's this bad now, do you know how bad implementation is going to be? Can you imagine how terrible the implementation and uncustomized? You're going to have to literally repeat yourself over and over and over again. Like it's going to be like terrible. So anyway, that's the concept of customized sales journey. I just dropped in the chat too for everyone. If you are interested in some of the AI stuff we're doing, I think we've got some pretty cool stuff there. So check that out too. But yeah, that's customized sales journey.
And Tim says you can automate sales now on website without human involvement, without AI, but they haven't totally taken over. No reason to think that AI will wipe out sales.
Totally. It won't. Again, this is about options. This isn't about or. This is about and. Customized sales journey, the third C is about and. We need this option and this option because people are so different, right? And again, like I'm a perfect example, like, and a lot of buyers are like, if instead it's like, hey, Jake comes in at self-service, it's like, cool. Now we just need a process. How do we okay, great. Jake, you signed up. Amazing. Let's schedule your onboarding call. And then we can just put you into the rest of our process. The other thing I'll call out just real quick before I know we're going to come up on time here sooner than later, is customized sales journey does not stop at the contract sign. I purposely in the book have it stop at power usage and renewal. The goal of a B2B organization is to create power users.
Yeah.
I want everyone to hear that, not to create signed contract. Your buyer gives two shit, what's about a signed contract. The buyer only cares about impact. And when are my whether it's a widget or whether it's a software, my team is using it. That's what all your buyer cares about. And so that's where you have to engineer your sales experience so the buyer trusts that you're going to get to that step.
And so just quickly in the last few minutes, your last C, which is consistent performance. I can't read my writing.
Optimization.
Optimization.
Yes. This again, it goes back to just legacy sales behavior. Outbound to me is a perfect example, Tim, where people, if you're spending, the analogy I use is a simple one. Let's say you've got 20 SDRs or 20 salespeople doing outbound, and you're spending $250,000 a month on them to generate meetings, and you've got Google AdWords you're spending $250,000 a month on. Both of their goals is to generate qualified opportunities in pipeline. The Google AdWords team is literally looking at performance on a daily, weekly basis and changing. I'm going to move this copy, move this, da-da-da. The sequence and cadence writing, people update every 6, 12, 18 months. We have all the data. You're pumping hundreds of thousands of data points through the system. And same thing with the sales process. New sales leader comes in every 3 years. We got a new methodology. It's like that's a completely wrong way to look at optimization. Optimization is about looking at a system, looking at the bottlenecks and fixing the bottleneck. Not every 6 to 12 months ripping out and putting in a new system. And so consistent optimization really teaches, it's a really easy framework to how do we move away from a 6 to 12 month optimization cycle for our sales process or our lead generation process, And how do we move to a more, consistent process that will generate results that compound over time? Like the stat is like, if you get 2% better, or every month, that's I think a 23% difference versus 10% better at the end of the year. When you do these big releases, it's that is not how marketing has already known this for like 15 years. And for some reason, this has just never translated. We just don't think of outbound the same way, when the reality is like, look, this subject line is not getting people to open it, tweak. This email is not getting any replies, tweak. Like, it just has to run more like a performance organization. And we developed some software for some of the leading sales engagement platforms to help. But that's the mindset. We just said we can't. We've got to move away from this big overhaul mindset. That's how we've always done it. I mean, that's just 2095, 2015, just how we've done it. And we've got to move away from that mindset. It's not what will actually get you the results that you want.
Jake, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about your new book, The Innovative Seller. Remind people where they can get a copy.
They can get a copy. I dropped the link in, everyone, so go check it out. You can go to Jake Dunlap, and then just type in, you can go to Google, Jake Dunlap Innovative Seller, or you can go straight to Amazon. If you go to Amazon directly and you don't kind of give us your details, just DM me on LinkedIn, and I will make sure you get added to the Innovative Seller community and the Innovative Seller Summit we have on March 26th. So Tim, thank you, man. I really enjoyed. Thank you for letting me kind of team, and hopefully nothing too controversial there.
I think you've torn up the whole current sales playbook, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's there. Like, like these changes aren't. I think I'll leave people with this. We don't need to throw everything out. AI is not replacing everything. We just need to evolve a little bit. We just need to, okay, it was great. It was simple for a long time. We had a good run. We were hitting send all. It's not working. We just got to evolve. I think anybody can see the writing on the wall here. It's not working. Teams aren't hitting. We just have to do a little mini evolution here. And I think this book can be a good framework for a lot of folks. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jake, for coming on and talking to us about it.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.